it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope your day is off to a fantastic start. Today's video is a little bit more of a chit chat style of video. So I don't have a product to review. I don't have anything to recommend to you. We're just talking, and I really hope that you guys will indulge me in this. I'm honestly just genuinely curious about your guys' responses to the questions in this particular video. I am endlessly fascinated by the human brain, and when I took a look at my analytics, I don't usually look at my behind the scenes YouTube stuff other than, you know, like checking comments and responding and stuff like that. But sometimes I will take a look at the demographics, and I'm always so just, it makes me happy to see like the large variety of people that subscribe to my channel or that view my content, because it's a huge range of people. Like there's a huge age range, there's a huge, you know, demographic in terms of countries and different backgrounds. And so I think that I have a really interesting opportunity to collect just some interesting thoughts. Now, I may also come to regret doing this just based off of like the comment sections that I have seen in some other videos that have also addressed this particular topic. And I think people feel very strongly about this particular thing, either one way or another. There are certainly also a good amount of people who are like, I don't care, like, whatever, do what you want. But there are definitely very pro and very like, against camps when it comes to cosmetic procedures. I will say I have done a number of things to myself. I have always been upfront about that here on my channel because I feel like it would be really disingenuous for me to like come on here one day and look one way and then come back maybe like a few days later and have a completely different look to me and like not address it at all. I think that I respect all of you who watch my content, and I know people are curious, and so I've just always like talked about it because I don't have any shame in doing what I've done. Honestly, every procedure that I have done on myself has been because I wanted to, not because I've, you know, had any outside pressure. It's just stuff that like I've noticed that either kind of annoys me or in one case it was definitely like a health concern for me. But yeah, I've just always thought like if there's something that I can do to help me maybe feel a little bit more confident, I want to do that. Nothing has ever been done because someone has been like, you should change this about you. Either here on the internet in terms of feedback from people or, you know, people in my real life. Like, I don't really care, I guess, the way that other people view me, but I do care about what I see in the mirror, right? And the way that I present myself to the world. And you could definitely say that it's very shallow to address anything about your appearance. And I'm sure there will be a fair amount of that in the comments. And I will say, as long as you are respectful and just, you know, not just like an outright jerk about things, like I'm gonna leave all comments below this video. I am someone who definitely, if I come across a comment where someone's just being like outright rude on my channel or just trying to hurt my feelings or trying to make other people feel bad, then those comments definitely get deleted. Those people get blocked. I don't do YouTube as a job, so I don't feel like I have to let comments stand. You know, like I've had plenty of people who I'm friends with here who are other content creators who think it's absolutely insane for me to delete any of my comments, to block people, because any engagement is good engagement, right? Like it's all getting you noticed. But because I don't have the approach to YouTube the way that I think a lot of other people do, I think it gives me a little bit more freedom in just being like, yeah, no, you're not just gonna be like a jerk and expect me to like just keep that around. It's just, it's not ever gonna be me. So, but I am just endlessly fascinated by this and a lot of other topics. And I think the reason is that my coursework in college, so I have a degree in social work, and the the majority of the coursework that I took really revolved around psychology. So, you know, how the human brain affects people's behaviors. And also sociology. So how society as a whole, everybody around us, you know, how those interactions then affect how we present ourselves to the world, or how, you know, we approach certain situations. And I have just always found those particular topics of study to be so interesting. Honestly, there have been lots of times where I have thought to myself, I should go back to school. Like, I should start like learning even more about this. But reality is, yeah, I don't know that my adult onset ADD would really do well with completing coursework right now, but I do still kind of read about it in my own time. But I just find psychology and sociology so terribly interesting, which is why I am so excited to read your guys' responses. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of commentary videos about cosmetic procedures. It is of interest to me personally because I've obviously done things to myself. Just to name a few things that I have done, if you're new here, I do get tox in my forehead every 5 months. I get it in, you know, for like my forehead lines here, but I also get it for the glabella lines here in the middle. And that is mostly because makeup just started to collect in those lines. I have a really expressive face, and I didn't like that. I didn't like, especially since I have oily skin, like I just didn't like feeling like I had to mop makeup out of my forehead lines like 8 times a day. So it was an easy fix, just a little bit of tox in my forehead. And I did say every 5 months, because at this point I've been getting it consistently for a few years. And the longer that I do it, the longer I can go in between treatments. So basically twice a year, roughly twice a year is how many times I get the tox in my forehead. Also, I clearly have some lip filler. Honestly, I haven't touched the lip filler in quite some time. My body seems to hold on to the filler pretty heartily, I guess you could say. So yeah, there were a lot of opinions about me getting lip filler. The reason that I did that is I missed my lips from like my teens and my 20s. Like, I feel like after having my kid, a lot of things just kind of went differently for me in terms of, you know, like things just started kind of changing and evolving. And is that okay? Yeah, it's totally okay. But again, I'm one of those people where if I can find a solution for something that I look at and just go, I don't really like that, I'm gonna go change it. And I like the lips. Listen, am I gonna keep this up for all eternity? I have no idea. I haven't touched them in a really long time. I don't have any plans on doing anything to my lips. They're fine the way they are right now. I get tox in my masseter muscles. That is not for any type of beauty reason. It has changed the look of my face, I will say that. And believe me, I've had some people who, you know, have kind of gone away from my channel and then come back. It just happens naturally, right? Like sometimes you just don't feel connected to a content creator, and so you just don't watch their content for a long time, but then you might come back. And I do think that my face shape changed quite a bit when I got the tox, because my muscles had built up so much that it gave me a much rounder look to my face than what my face naturally looks like. Like, this is my just bone structure here, but the years of grinding and clenching my teeth had built up these muscles to give me just a lot of bulk back here on my jaw. And like that, it made some people crazy to like see the fact that my face shape had changed. Like, I had people telling me that I had buccal fat removal. I did not. I had people telling me that I had a facelift. No, not at 45. I I don't think I need one. But what I wanted was to stop grinding my teeth so that I could keep my teeth as I age instead of having to go get dentures. Because I have a pretty severe amount of gum recession from the amount of clenching and grinding that I did for the last 10, 15 years of my life. I just wasn't dealing with stress very well, and that was how I dealt with it. So yeah, getting the toxin here changed my face shape, but that's not why I did it. I just want to keep my teeth. I love my teeth. They're great teeth. They serve me well. They chew the food that I really love to eat every single day of my life. So also, just in terms of other things that I've done, I did have a mommy makeover surgery. I opted for a breast reduction. I was born with very big boobs, and then after my daughter, they got even bigger. I actually was gonna have a breast reduction in my 20s, but then I thought, well, if I have a kid, I'd like to be able to breastfeed. And once I went for a consultation, the surgeon at the time told me, in all likelihood, if I do this breast reduction and you do want to have a child somewhere down the line, you're not gonna be able to breastfeed. And so that for me was like, fine, you know, I'll hold off until after I have a kid. So I did. And then much to my dismay, after having Stella and breastfeeding her for a full year, my boobs were even bigger. You know, some women are like, yeah, my boobs are so deflated, like I want to go get implants. I was horrified at the fact that my boobs almost doubled in size after I was done breastfeeding. It wasn't my thing. I had backaches all the time. I had, you know, like grooves that had like, you can still kind of see them here. Can you see that? I had grooves that had formed in my shoulders from my bra straps. The reduction was always going to be a thing. But then also after I had Stella, and let's take a little anatomy class together. I'm sure most of the women here are aware of this, but when you are pregnant, your stomach muscles, they separate to accommodate your growing child, right? Like if your muscles didn't separate, that child would just be very confined in your uterus, and it wouldn't really have enough room to grow and develop properly. So the muscles genetically are meant to just separate to make room for that growing baby. Now, a lot of women, once they are done having children, their stomach muscles come right back together, and, you know, through diet, exercise, you know, lots of other things, people's bodies can kind of snap back to normal. Mine didn't. So I had a massive case of what's called diastasis recti. So when my stomach muscles separated when I was pregnant with Stella, and she was a good sized baby. Listen, my husband is 6'7". I didn't have a petite child. Like she was healthy when she was born. Plump, fat little baby, right? But anyway, my muscles never went back together. They just stayed out here. And so what that meant is that like the only like protection that I had from the outside world for like my insides was just like my skin essentially. And you know, the fat that I had left over in my tummy. But I could actually feel my intestines as like the food was moving down like along my intestinal tract. So sometimes I would lay in bed and I could not only like feel it like by putting my hand in between that space there, but I could see it. Like I could actually see like some, you know how like when you're pregnant and you can see your baby kicking? Well, I could see my food making its way down my intestines. And it's basically a giant hernia. I had to have it repaired, and there was no way, there was no amount of exercise, no amount of like treatments that I could do to get those muscles to grow back together. They were not ever going to come back together. And the surgeon was like, listen, you should have this fixed. It's not good to just have your guts basically hanging out like that. So she suggested a tummy tuck, and since she was doing that, she also got rid of the little bit of extra skin that I had as well. And all these years, I had this surgery back in 2013. All these years later, zero regrets. Was it an easy procedure for me? No. I actually documented everything here on my channel. You can go watch my mommy makeover series. It was a hard surgery, and there were definitely times where I thought, did I do the right thing? But years later, I did the right thing. Like, I no longer am able to see my food moving through my intestinal tract. Like, that's great to me. So it was 100% worth it. And having smaller boobs, Listen, I think I read somewhere that like the cosmetic procedure with the highest satisfaction rate has always been a breast reduction surgery. If you are someone with enormous boobs, first of all, go talk to your health insurance company, see if they will cover a reduction. Mine didn't. So, you know, believe me, I tried to like document for years with like chiropractic appointments, massage appointments, going and seeing doctors and complaining about my back pain. And the insurance company just outright told me, no, we're not paying for that. You know, get a better bra, basically, I think is what they were implying. And that just wasn't gonna work for me. So I was happy to pay out of pocket to finally get that relief. But yeah, for me, like my approach has always been, if there's something that bothers you, if there's something that's hurting you, if there's something that's making you uncomfortable and you have the funds to change it, go do it. Or go get a couple of side gigs to be able to save the money to do the things that you want to do. Like I've always had multiple jobs. I have always, you know, worked really hard to be able to pay for the things that I want to do. And it's been fine by me. And I will tell you right now, I know there will be people like, well, you could put that money towards retirement. We have a retirement fund. We max it out every single year. Like, this is something that I specifically will work to be able to do, right? So, but what I really want to know is how you guys feel about it. Like, do you think that it is acceptable for anyone to alter their appearance? And let's take it as far as, do you think that people should color their hair? Do you think women should wear makeup? Do you think that you know, people should get manicures, pedicures? Do you think people should get tattoos, you know? And then also a little further down the line, do you think people should get injectables? Do you think that they should get in-office treatments like lasers? And I'm really just genuinely curious about your response to this. Like, you can be totally honest. I think it's absolutely fine for people to say, no, like, I would never do that. It's not something that I see as a wise investment. I would rather put my money towards other things. I think answers like that are totally okay. But I want to know what your reasoning is. Let me know in the comments. Honestly, this particular topic has been so interesting to me, and I've certainly looked through the comment sections of a lot of these videos, but a lot of what I see is just people being kind of, I would say, rude about it if they're against it. And again, if you, I'm not telling anyone else to go out and do anything. Like, you do you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I've always been of the mindset, live and let live, right? You know, and I'm curious about, if you have done things and you have a daughter or a child, do you have any kind of weird feelings around that? I do have a daughter. She's 12, and she is aware, you know, that I do some things to my face. I've always told Stella, you know, you are beautiful the way that you are. You know, I think I created like a beautiful little human being. But I also told her, like, if you are ever feeling like there's something that you really want to change, like, you're never gonna receive any pushback from me about it. I would rather support you. And the reason that I think I have that approach is because that's the approach that my mom has had. My mom and I could not be more polar opposites. This woman does not wear makeup. I bought her like $200 worth of hair care at Christmas just so she could like spoil herself a little bit. I think it's probably still underneath her bathroom sink. Like, she doesn't care about any of these things. She has never had a single needle put into her face. She just does not care. But she has never once came to me and said, I hate that you did this, or I don't like the way that looks on you. She's always been like, do you like that? Do you feel better about yourself? Are you more confident? Great. Whatever. It's your money. Do what you want with it. You know, like, she's not paying for my stuff. Like, I'm paying for my stuff. So, but yeah, I'm dying to know, just based off of the people that follow me, and the different demographics that I'm seeing behind the scenes, like, what's your take on this? would you ever get anything done? Would you want your child to do anything to themselves? Is there anything that you want to have done, but you maybe don't have the funds for it right now? Yeah, I'm so curious. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below. And again, thank you for indulging me with this particular video. I know it's a little bit different from my normal content, but I really, I just really wonder sometimes, like, I don't know. I think having people that have been with my channel for a really long time and you know, just having a lot of interactions with you guys just through the comments, I'm just very curious about how you really feel about this. And again, it's totally fine if you don't think that you would ever do something to yourself, or if it bothers you, you know, that other people change their appearance. Like, I think that's a totally valid opinion, just as much as my opinion about doing these things is valid. But yeah, I'm curious. Let's start a conversation. So let me know down below. I really appreciate you being here. If you are new, I would love it if you would take the time to subscribe. Again, this is not my normal content. I mostly do reviews, you know, beauty stuff, home fragrance content. But yeah, I'd like to sprinkle a few more of these commentary type videos in here, because there's a lot of other questions that I have in my head about what you guys think about these things. So if you have any topics that are of interest to you personally, you can also leave those down below or send me a DM over on Instagram. All right, thanks a lot. Give this video a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.